Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
Good morning. If you could be seated, I'm so glad to see everybody. I feel like you all blew in at the last moment. It's like a bunch of leaves came rushing in. So glad to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. Welcome to Center for Creative Living. And I would like to take this opportunity to say how proud I am for you guys to get up, get dressed, and make it through all this wind and rain and whatever is blowing out there to church. I think you were perfect, just perfect. It's so great to have you here. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm the Reverend Dottie Boone, and I'm so glad that you're here. And we've got people from the hills. How are you, Colleen? We haven't seen you for a long time.
I thought the electricity was going to go off this morning. I got up and turned the light on in the living room, and it flickered, and it went out, and I went, oh, no, not again.
So then you decide I'm going to go to church.
Yeah, really. To the light. I know, it came back on.
Oh, it did?
Other people have been in my worst shape.
Oh, yeah. And you live in Boulder Creek?
No, I live in Ben Lomond, which is near, I was in Boulder Creek
right next to it.
all day yesterday.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for coming down here, and that must be kind of scary with rain on the coming down the hill. Thank you so much.
That was a bad accident going south. As long as they said south, I was happy.
and tomorrow is spring, the first day of spring, and
yes,
so
do my talk.
I have been threatened by a member of the congregation. Don't do my talk.
Well, Dottie's so intuitive, she can.
She can't help it.
Well, but it's so exciting. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I said what my dad's favorite thing. Every time it got close to spring, he said, "Spring has sprung, the grass is riz. I wonder where the flowers is." And that was always his folksy salute to spring.
Yes, it is.
And I come from the desert, and at this time of year, the poppies are growing.
They're beautiful.
And it's just amazing. I come from a little town called Lancaster, where the only thing we have, when you look at what to see in Lancaster, is the poppy preserve. That's the only thing they've got going for it, and that only happens once a year for a very brief period of time. But anyway, yeah, I kind of like that. We had poppies. And for people who haven't been here for a while, thank you for coming back. We really do appreciate it. I'd like to take also this opportunity to say that a lot is going on in the world, in our country, even in our town. And every time you see something that's happening that you can't do anything about, bless it. Just bless it. But I have people that call me and say, "Dottie, I am so worried about what's happening in Texas." And I said, "What does your worry do for Texas?" Now, pray for them, but worry about it doesn't do much. So think about that when things come up in your life, that the first thing you want to do is worry about it, and ask yourself, what does worry do it? And when I was raising a lot of the kids I was raising, they'd say, "Well, I'm going to worry." I said, "Okay, look," and I put a quarter on the table. And I said, "If you can worry that quarter off the table, you can have it." And they go, "Well, I can't worry that." And I said, "Then you can't worry anything to happen." Of course, this was when a quarter would buy something, but a long time ago. But that whole idea of what do you accomplish through worry? So every time you sit here and you think, oh, those poor people, say, what can I do to help? And if you can't think of anything that you feel is important, stop a moment and say, let me put them in my prayers. And ask, because Creator knows what's going on. Creator can help, but sometimes we need to put some of our energy into that. Okay, we have such a wonderful speaker today, and we noticed that our wonderful Dr. Janet Childs is, Reverend Dr. Janet Childs is here. Thank you so much. And so I would like you all to just take a nice deep breath. And put your feet flat on the floor. And we just say, Creator, thank you so much for being here today. We certainly enjoy having your energy in the room. And we know that whatever religion or faith that we were raised, that you recognize us as being one of your children. And when you're a child of the Creator and you honor it, it feels like nothing is impossible. So keep working with that energy. So as we're here this morning, we're dedicating this service to the spring of the planet, the spring of the northern hemisphere of the planet, where we're going to have rain, we're going to have the soil nurtured, we're going to have flowers and trees sprouting. Thank you, Creator, for giving us a land with color, vitality, and vibrancy. And so it is. So, anybody have a birthday this week? Oh. Wait just a minute. That was not meditation, that was just a prayer. So she did a beautiful job.
It was a lovely background to the prayer.
It was a lovely background to the prayer. Yeah, thank you so much. This is called Ad-Lib Church 101.
I heard my name.
Any birthdays? Nobody. This group's just not getting older. You know, it's so wonderful. Thank you last week for getting a year older. We could appreciate you and wearing a Pink Floyd shirt. Thank you so very much. I love it. Yay. There are so many different ways that we can honor birthdays. And I'm finding people just don't do it anymore. Have you noticed? I'll look at my calendar. It's somebody's birthday. I'll call and say, happy birthday. And say, oh, you're the only one that's called me.
Aww.
And I'll say, well, what are you doing for it? Nothing.
Aww.
And it's like, honor the day you were born. Yes.
We did have a birthday a couple of days ago. Was Patty Ray?
Yeah.
Patty Ray's birthday. Yay. Yeah, Patty. Yep. I don't know if she ever watches us on Zoom, but yeah.
When I'm there.
Yeah. and welcome Mel. He comes from Southern California, and Reverend Mel Betancourt. We're so glad to have him here.
Yes.
And it's nice seeing you. Yeah, yay! Anybody new who wants to raise their hand and introduce himself? Okay, you don't have to. Now, the other thing is, we've got a great service today, but next week, Lauren, did you see? No, I don't see Lauren here this morning. She's going to be speaking from Competition to Connection. And if you didn't get a program, please grab one, okay? Because this is going to be interesting. I'm going to be talking about April Fool's Day, April 2nd. Couldn't make it on the 1st because it was a Saturday, so I'm going to be doing that. And Dr. Eileen is going to be doing Easter.
Yay.
And I'm all excited about that because she's getting ready to go to New York, move back there. So we're squeezing every bit of Dr. Eileen we can get out of her before she leaves. And now, Reverend Chris Brown had something to say about her upcoming talk. I'm going to get out of your way and sit down.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This kind of sounds like an odd sequitur for birthdays. Sorry about that.
Talking about Death Day.
So we're going to talk. I'm going to talk about Death Day. So in 6 weeks, I will be here talking about a program and a document that was originated from followers of Mother Teresa, How to Die. And You can find this. It's a document called 5 Wishes. I'm just going to tell you what the 5 wishes are. The first wish is my wish for the person I want to make care decisions for me when I can't. The second, the kind of medical treatment I want or don't want. And by the way, I'm not going to be talking about either of those. I'm not going to talk about wills. I'm not going to talk about, what is that called?
Trust.
No, the advanced directive. I'm not going to be talking about it. I'm going to be talking about wishes 3, 4, and 5, and I want to give you just a real quick flavor of it. I am in love with this book. It let me do something I never knew how to do, which was, how do I tell people what's really true about me? And I'm going to cry now because it's the most important part of my life. So wish 3 is my wish for how comfortable I want to be. I don't want to be in pain. If I show signs of depression, I want my caregivers to do X, Y, and Z. I want to have religious or spiritual readings. And what happens is that there's this document, and you either sort of accept it, or you line through, or you make your own notes. Now, this document is only like 5 pages long. My notes are 16 pages. No surprise. But it raises questions. My wish for how I want people to treat me. I wish to have my hand held and to be talked to when possible, even if I don't seem to respond to the voice or touch of others. This is really important stuff. Wish 5, my wish for what I want my loved ones to know. I wish to be forgiven for the times I've hurt my family, friends, and others. I wish for all of my family members to make peace with each other before my death, if they can. This is a really important document. So I have already a bunch of copies, and you're welcome to take one home. I recommend you take a look at it before my talk on April 30th.
Yes.
If you don't, or if you're online, you can look it up. It's 5 Wishes, Aging with Dignity. If you go there for $5, you can get a downloadable PDF that you can fill out. I think it's one of the best investments I've ever made. So I'm going to be back in the back. I'll have some of these for you. And then on April 30th, I plan to spend, 20 minutes, whatever the time is up here, and we'll walk through and talk about some of these really important, deeply seated things. I discovered that I had some spiritual beliefs that I'd never voiced. And in the dark, 2 o'clock in the morning on those 16 pages, I was able to voice my true, deepest spiritual beliefs and wants that I'd actually never told anybody. Wow. So I look forward to sharing all that with you.
Thank you. Yes.
And I'm so delighted to find that our ministerial students are hopping up. Lauren, I already talked about you, and then you walked in. She's going to be giving next week's speech. And also Kevin Fisher, fantastic to see your smiling face, and you're going to be giving a talk. Do you know what you're going to be talking about?
Yeah.
Good. Just tell Corky so she can put it in the program, unless you want to make it a teaser. Okay. Okay.
I'm going to call it an unexpected healing.
Yay! Sounds good. And then Desmond is going to be speaking on the 7th. He is online, and Rosalie has already been talking to me, for those of you who know. Rosalie, when I'm on Zoom, she's saying, "Hi, Dottie. Hi, Dottie." So, hi, Rosalie. Yeah, one of our youngest members of Center for Creative Living. We'd like to have her there.
And Dottie,
Yeah?
I just wanted to offer that we had our Tuesday night, speaker series with our wonderful Reverend Dr. Eileen. So check that out. And for our April one, it will be Reverend Ronnie Grigsby talking about the spiritual dimensions of the Black Church.
Good.
It is. So I'm so excited about this. Please come. He's going to take us through. So
Good.
that's the second Tuesday in April.
Great, thank you. Yes, Mary, you had your hand
Oh,
up.
no, I was just trying to.
Tell me to look at her. We have sign language in the front row for those of you. Okay, wonderful. Glad to have that. So, I'd like you all now to put your feet flat on the floor one more time and close your eyes and follow the sound of my voice. As you feel your energy grounded, put your feet flat on the floor. Your energy is greater than you know. So for this morning, what I want you to do is open up that energetic part of you, that part of you that touches the ground and reaches all the way up to source. Visualize it. See the energy beneath your feet. Feel the energy beneath your feet, and then let that energy, earth energy, start rising in your body. And as you do that, bring down the energy of spirit. Some people see spiritual energy as bright white, some as a soft green, others as a radiant purple. However you view energy, bring it down. And as you bring that energy down through your head, through your throat, bring God's energy down to your heart. And then connect with the energy of earth by bringing it up through your body to your heart. You become a transistor of energy, so that for all today, as you walk in the rain, as you walk in the sun, every step you take, you are radiating the Creator's energy. You are transforming that energy into earth energy. And each person you meet, when you hug them or touch them or even smile at them, radiate your heart, that heart light through your eyes, through your sound of your voice. It is important that you feel your divinity. Nobody gives you your divinity, you already have it. But sometimes you forget. So for today, as we're looking forward to springtime, bring forward that energy, that God, Goddess, Creator, whatever you feel is the spirit of the planet, bring it into you and transform it to all you see. Now, keep your eyes closed as we listen to the wonderful Reverend Dr. Janet Childs and see what she's going to do with that talk.
Strong and deep, pure and true, the seed is born inside of you. Every step and every breath brings you to this heart of spring. And the leaves flow and the wind grows and the healing of our life begins. And all that you know brings us to this spring. Oh, your heart plants the seeds that can bring us home to our soul. And our soul knows that how to grow is opening up to the world. Don't shut it down, let yourself have your feelings, bring it home and ground it in love. All that we can bring to this moment is the seed that is us. And the spring flows and the earth grows and we open up our hearts phoenix wings, we can fly, 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 fly. We're
Thank you so very much. Our today's speaker has been one of these major helpers during the time when my wife has been incapacitated, and Corky's arm is still not very usable. And during this period of time, our wonderful Mel came and helped us. Thank you so much, Mel, for being there. And Robin and Chris have provided food for us. It has been amazing. Our Janet has given me transportation. Sherry has come and helped watch movies with us and giggle and laugh. And all of these people that have added to her healing, it's been wonderful. When you can't get out, to have people come and offer, okay, just offer. Their energy is amazing. And I thank you all so very much. And know that one of the greatest gifts of being on the planet is helping others. And we certainly thank all the help that we've been giving. It has been incredible. And I want to say that one of the things about Reverend April is that she is there every time I call. If I say, hey, I don't know what to do today, and she'll say, I'll be right there. It's amazing. And she helps me haul my fat ass into her car so she can take me places. And it's because I don't walk well, so she's very much there for me. And I mean, what more can you ask for somebody but to take you places when you're incapacitated? So this is a supportive community. And if you see somebody who needs something, ask them what you can do. Say, hey, what can I do? And if they say, oh, nothing, I'm fine, you say, okay, well, are you getting plenty of food? Do you need a driver? Sometimes people don't even know what they need. Right. So part of that helping people is suggesting, would you like me to do, such and such? And you'd be amazed. They'll go, oh, I do need help with that. So, and I have found that if I ask people to help, they honestly will either say, yes, I can, or no, I'm too busy, or no, I don't have the vehicle, or they're honest with you. If you're honest with them, they're honest with you. Because don't you think that the worst thing you can do is say yes and then not follow through? I'd a lot rather if I ask somebody, could you possibly help, and they say, no, Daddy, I'm overwhelmed right now. I've got so much to do, and I'm fine. That's great, because then you know where you stand. So just think about that. Do you help people? Are you there for them? Or do you just offer and then not follow through? It's a good way to get a check on what's going on. Well, now, April offered to do this talk. And she was saying, well, I don't know. She was kind of vacillating about, what am I going to say? Whatever. And you know what? She came through. Please welcome Reverend April Lussier.
Just in case, my oxygen's here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Wow,
We
what
love
a crowd,
you.
what a crowd. I want to really encourage you, if you didn't get a handout, to get one, because there's a program, because there's a handout with it. And if there's not enough, we can email you the material. So thank you, Dottie, for giving me this opportunity to share about spring equinox and a little bit about paganism. I hope that I can help broaden your perspective about something that's gotten a bad rap for a very long time. So, namaste.
Namaste.
The divine in me honors and recognizes the divine in you, and together we are connected as one. Blessed be. Thank you, Jan. Help me with that. Spring equinox is, and at first I want to apologize for Dottie jumping on her when she was going to talk about spring equinox. I could have done that a little better, but it was like, she's been known to do that, do somebody's talk before they do the talk. I was like, no.
You can jump on me anytime you want.
Oh, so spring equinox is one of the 8 earth-based high holy days on the wheel of the year. The wheel is an ancient Celtic calendar based on festivals and celebrations to honor nature's changing seasons. Here's an example of the wheel, as you can see, and there's one on your handout. They're very different renditions of the wheel. It's hard to see the dates on this one, so I wanted you to have one that you could see the dates. The Celts were nature-honoring, polytheistic, non-Christian people of the lands of Central Europe. The word pagan was first recorded in 1325, used by the Catholic invaders. In Latin, paganus means rural or rustic. So the Catholics had an opinion that they would identify the people of the land. In my opinion, it seemed less than who they were. A heathen was one who did not practice the widely held Abrahamic religion of the time. Present-day pagans would define paganism as a nature-based spiritual system of beliefs and practices that honor the teachings and the wisdom of Gaia, Earth Mother of all life. One of these practices is to honor the turning of the wheel, to take time to step away from one's daily activities and notice the wisdom that Gaia is offering. If you don't stop and notice, you miss it. As you can see, the calendar moves clockwise around about every 6 weeks from Yule all the way around to Samhain, each marking the end of one season and the beginning of another. This wheel invites us to connect with nature and her cycles. One example that was used in times of old and still possibly today is using the wheel and the clues of nature to guide the farmers in when it's time to plant. The Celts' wheel originally was the 4 great fire festivals: Imbolc, Beltane, Lammas, and Samhain. They were considered the major Sabbats. When the Saxons invaded in around 450 CE, the solar festivals were added to the wheel, and those are the equinoxes and the solstices. The wheel is a pagan tale of birth, growth, death, and rebirth. Each season is identified with a certain stage of life, and the stage of life is honored and celebrated. Gaia's life cycle is ours, both individually and collectively. For we are her, and she is us. The wheel is a blueprint of transformation. In my practice of goddess spirituality, the story is fleshed out a little bit more to include the divine feminine aspects of the maiden, mother, queen, and crown. The dates are easier to see in your handout than it is up here, so you can refer to your handout as I speak. So I'm going to start at the beginning, at winter solstice. It is a solar Sabbath known as Yule. It is considered the womb of Gaia and her pregnancy. It's the time of unseen potential. Imbolc is the fire Sabbath of the stirring of rebirth. Hope is returning. Spring equinox is the solar Sabbath of Ostara, the time of infancy and the young maiden. New possibilities are on the horizon. Beltane is a fire Sabbath of the sexually self-determined virgin maiden. The land is awakened, effervescent, and vivacious, ready to thrive. Summer solstice is the solar Sabbath of Letha, the time of the mother in her great fullness, with vitality and abundant livingness. The fields will be full of green by summer solstice. Then Lammas, also known as Lunasa, is a fire Sabbath when the queen emerges with the first harvest, honoring the welcoming sustenance of the grain. So Lammas means loaf. And so there's a huge, in my Sabbaths, when I would have gatherings, we would have bread and make bread loaves with the bread, shaped in goddesses and spirals, and to honor this blessed gift. Fall equinox is a solar Sabbath of the crone's celebration of rest after the long, laborious final harvests of the year. Samhain is the fire Sabbath marking the death of summer, when the veil is the thinnest, when it's time to seek the wisdom of the unseen. So the wheel continually cycles from darkness to light and back to darkness. Gaia needs a time of quiet rest in the dark and cold of winter to prepare and rejuvenate for the return of the summer's light and the sowing of new life. I have read about in times of old, when the days grew shorter and nights grew colder, that there was uncertainty and fear in the people. And for that reason, they began to create special rituals that they felt were needed to encourage the sun's return, because they weren't sure it was going to come back. Excuse me. They also would do things to promise abundant harvest. There's the wassailing song is all about honoring the apples on the tree, and they would go out and sing and pour apple juice or cider on the trees to bless the trees for giving them the apples. So there was this sense that if they didn't do that, it wouldn't happen. Today we are free from these old uncertainties because we understand scientifically lots that's going on, such as the Earth's tilt of the axis is what determines the sun set being a shorter time and longer nights, and that it will move and return. With this freedom from fear and worry, we have the opportunity to gain a new perspective of our life's journey through Gaia's cycle, so we can use the wisdom to really expand ourselves than be in fear. This idea of a new perspective is reminded to me when you walk a labyrinth. Many of you who've walked might remember this experience. So on a labyrinth, there are what I call switchbacks, but I know they're also called hairpin turns. And they're quite significant. They're actually the most important part of the labyrinth. Because as you walk it, if you're walking with intention and awareness, when you come to a switchback, which is you come around and then you're literally 180 degrees from where you were. And when you walk that walk and you turn around and look where you've been, you have a whole new point of view, a whole new perspective of where you were. So this gives us the opportunity to really ponder from a new vantage point. The wheel does the same thing. It gives us an opportunity to consider where we are from the last moment to this moment, what we've gained in insight and understanding and spiritual growth. Now, about spring equinox. Spring equinox this year takes place tomorrow, March 20th at 2:24 p.m. At this time, it marks the point in time when the sun sits directly over the Earth's equator as it heads northward again. Both hemispheres share the sun's rays equally, and night and day are the same length. Spring equinox also marks the final farewell to the winter spirits. During Yule, the tradition of bringing an evergreen tree into your home is to give a place for the winter spirits to be safe and warm. So now it's time to say farewell. And it's spoken very nicely in this poem by Anne Morat. Farewell went to wintry spirits and friends. On morrow we greet the spirits of spring. Our blessings to thee as your way you wend, and merry we'll meet next winter again. This is on your handout also, and it's with a little ritual if you'd like to use it at home, as well as a chant for your spring planting. Spring equinox goddess is known by several names. Ostara, meaning moving towards the sunrise, moving towards the rising sun, and Estra, meaning spring and new beginnings, to name a few. I'll be alternating those two names throughout my talk. She is traditionally honored with gatherings and celebrations focused on all things associated with spring. Ostara is particularly honored and revered for her gifts of the magic of rebirth and the hope of new possibilities yet to come. These blessings of spring are to be embraced with gratitude, joy, and deep respect, as is spoken in this poem, A Promise. Great goddess, you have freed yourself from the icy prisms of winter. Now is the greening, the fragrance of the flowers drift on the breeze. This is the beginning. Life renews itself by your magic, dear spring equinox. So I promise to walk the earth in friendship, not in dominance. Earth goddess, instill within me, through the emerging plants, a warmth for all living things. Teach me to revere the earth and all its treasures. May I never forget. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Ostara's rebirth and awakening of earth is ever present in the trees. You see some blossoms over there. In the bulbs pushing up out of the ground. The birds are nesting and the animals are mating. Here's a poem about Ostara's particular efforts of spring. Ostara brings her fertile fair, the precious egg, the wild hare, to start again the song of spring, and to our hearts fair blessings bring. Blessed be. As we witness this awakening and rebirth, we've evolved on this planet to not be so in fear or concern. We have an opportunity to grow and learn from what she has to tell us. She's asking us to awaken ourselves. Are we only going through the motions right now? Or are we taking this time of reawakening our spiritual selves to embrace anew all the magical possibilities of spring in our own lives? She is encouraging us to awaken body, mind, and soul to spring's rebirth. Have you considered what seeds you are intending to come to fruition by summer? I haven't looked at the time. Oh, wow. It says on here, check the clock. If you have, great. Then you can take this time to visualize it. If you haven't considered, let's do it now. Let's take some time to consider what it is would be your spring desires to come to fruition by summer? And Jan Jan, would you be willing to play some music?
Absolutely.
Excuse me. It's okay.
Is that the Reverend Dottie's?
That was Reverend Dottie's. It wasn't mine. Thank goodness.
Glenn Singer.
May he also find the
Yes.
spirit of spring awaken in his being.
Yes.
So I invite you just to take a moment, a few moments here. And with the blessing of the intuitive guidance of Janet's music, to just take some deep, slow breaths. Find that still place within that brings calm, centering, and safety to your being. And as you settle in to this sacred space within, ask to be shown or to guide you to what would be the most important desire for you to connect to, for you to bring forth at this time of awakening. You might see it play out in your mind's eye, or you might hear it. However the words and messages come to you is in its perfection. Awakening is all about coming out of the dark into the light. What is your desire that's ready to spring anew? Now, in these last few moments, repeat to yourself the intention. Declare it, that you wish it to realize itself come summer. May it be infused with the magic of springtime and be blessed by the goddess of spring. So mote it be.
Springtime, I embrace your wishes. I embrace my heart's desire, and I plant your wisdom in every filling my deepest desire, calling me forth to the world, and I am free. Blessed be, blessed be. We are spring. We honor the earth, and we are part of her as we move forward into spring.
I invite you to gently open your eyes. And thank you, dear sweet sister. It was perfect. The divine is working in every moment. She just gets up here, didn't even know she was going to do it, and look what's manifest. When one is noticing and with intention. Thank you, Janet. So in closing, the goddess Estara speaks. I am the hope of the fertile fields, the regenerated life's promise emerging. I am the return of winter's visions. I am the first kiss of sunlight on the unfurling leaves of what will be wildflowers come summer. I am the wind that gently pulls home the migratory birds. I am the drop of ice melting on the mountainside with its great dream of the ocean. I am the sap rising in the blossoming trees that reveals buds to the sky. I am the rousing of the bee from its winter slumber. Give me winter's barren land, and I will breathe radiant green life over it. I am optimism, potential, and promise. I am the kindling breath that transforms the flicker of inspiration in your creative core. The wheel has turned, and Istra has returned once again. Blessed spring and blessed be. Thank you, everyone. The divine gave me the air.
And we're going to be hearing more about Estra because our wonderful Dr. Eileen is going to be speaking about Easter. And for those of you who don't realize, that's how we got the word Easter, is from the goddess that our wonderful April was talking about. And we have somebody flying in right now. Hello there. And one of the things about when you start looking at all of the different beings that have been worshipped over centuries, you become more solid in what you believe in. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it isn't. It's when you look at Christianity that's sitting on the top of Abraham and the Jewish faith, and then you look at the Jewish faith, what is sitting on top of the goddess, and you look at the Hindu, which has been around for a long time and incorporates a lot of everything. You realize we're at the tip of a pinnacle of a huge foundation of faiths and religions. And as you can incorporate every bit of them. Think of yourself as this wonderful multi-layered building of little bricks of each faith. And you begin to understand everybody around the world. And when you get into the earth-based religions, it's so amazing how much people were connected with who we are as beings, who we are as that next step in our progression, not transgression, in a progression of faith and energy, and it's amazing. Well, I really enjoyed that. Thank you so very much. And this is a time when we're going to pass the basket. And Mary, is that why you walked up?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Right over here. Right over here, my love.
here are the baskets right over here. I hid them from you. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
And if somebody else wants to help her, that would be great. Nope, you're going to do it on your own. Oh, there's Janet. Dr. Jan is helping.
Be sure to bless. Do you want to say?
We're gonna pass the basket and then we're gonna do the prayer.
For giving for the ministry?
Good?
For giving for the ministry?
Yeah, we'll do that later.
If you can't put money in, just put your hand up.
Okay, but if you want to do the prayer, because everybody's saying, Dottie, you're not doing the prayer. The sacrament of giving is on the back of your program. Giving to the ministry, when which I receive my spiritual support and nurturing, is an affirmation in consciousness of the truth that spirit is the prospering power enriching every area of my life. Okay. Just take a nice deep breath. This has been a wonderful morning. Cheryl, is it raining out there or is it just cold?
It's threatening.
It's threatening. Okay. And now I've got this wonderful surprise. Our wonderful Reverend Mel Bentoncourt is going to say the closing prayer.
Yay! By the time I get up there, I'll have something.
That's right.
Thanks for the power of Google. I do.
Okay, well, as you wander up here, I want to say something.
Okay.
We have food over here. Look at all this food. And that's for us to take home.
Holy smokes.
There's bags to put it in. It was donated to the Billy DeFrank Center. We want to share in that. And just don't go anywhere. Okay, you're here. Who do we have on Zoom this morning?
Corky.
Okay.
We love you.
Okay, all right, if you're going there,
Yeah.
let's pivot you around so they can, she can see everyone here. We have Amanda and Corbin, B, Jen Lee, Desmond, myself, Janice, Jean, Joan, Laura, Patty and Joyce, Sky, Zoom user, and an iPhone Pro.
Full house.
Thank you so much. We love all of you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for being there and being on Zoom. That's pretty wonderful. And okay, Reverend Mel.
All right.
Here you are. The microphone's yours.
Okey-doke.
I'm going to sit back
Give
there.
yourself a minute for the camera to come back around to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've got to see your smiling face.
I'm gonna move this a little. It doesn't really stay, does it?
Woo.
Bow your head, Mel.
Don't fight the force. He wants to be there.
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay. And, all right. Hi, everybody. So our closing prayer, I came up, found a springtime prayer from Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So for the flowers that bloom about our feet, for the tender grass so fresh and sweet, for song of bird and hum of bee, for all things we hear or see. Creator, we thank thee. For blue of stream and blue of sky, for pleasant shade of branches high, for fragrant air and cooling breeze, for beauty of the blooming trees. Creator, we thank thee. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
You need a hand or?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
And what I would like for you to do, since we're starting spring and we're starting a new era at that time, I want you right now to turn and face somebody, or stand up and face one person and just give them a blessing. Give them a springtime blessing.